Do you love the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders? Then support the show that's currently ranked in the top 10 shows on Spreaker.com in the wrestling category, on Patreon.com, and get exclusive access to new original content, including our 30 with Lee series, bonus and vintage RCWR episodes, exclusive guest interviews, prize giveaways, online community chat, live show call-in features, and so much more. Support the RCWR Show on Patreon.com/RCWR Show. Once again, that's Patreon.com/RCWR Show. The RCWR Show with Lee Sanders, entertaining you since 2011.
Warning, the RCWR Show with Lee Sanders is intended for a mature audience only. The following is an Infinity One Productions presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive. Covering the latest in wrestling and beyond since 2011. You're listening to the RCWR Show. Now, your host, live from the nation's capital in Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
What's going on, everyone? Lee Sanders here. You're checking out a special edition of the RCWR Show coming at you. What is this now? Sunday morning of July the 8th, 2018. I am coming on for very good reason, as we are just a couple of minutes removed from the New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Special that went down in San Francisco, California. Yes, it was a 4-hour, 35-minute event that was on Access TV. You also could have accessed it on the New Japan Network, right? For those of you that have that app and everything. But Mark Cuban paid top dollar to be able to stream this live for the 4+ hours on Access TV. And I gotta tell you, I love the fact that Mark Cuban is really coming around to the wrestling, and I think it really is tremendously helpful that he's able to pick the brains of one good old JR, Jim Ross, as he alluded a couple of times in putting Mark Cuban over. And we know that Mark Cuban, he's also worked out that deal with the WOW promotion, as I've been mentioning on the show past couple of weeks now. In case you guys had missed that piece of information, yes, Access TV, which basically is the brainchild of one Mark Cuban, they worked out a deal with the WOW promotion, the Women of Wrestling promotion, and they're actually going to have their own show on Access TV coming up in spring of 2019. So it's really awesome seeing that Mark Cuban is really embracing the hell out of professional wrestling. But I tell you what, this special, I'm very curious how the ratings did for this one, because I think it's going to be a telling tale, assuming that it's a hit, and it's such a hit that Mark Cuban is going to want to see some more New Japan Pro Wrestling live specials throughout the course of the year. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe 4 times out of the year, so basically once every quarter. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe somewhere down the road a type of deal like that could be worked out, and I honestly think that it can be worked out. Just got to work over the logistics and everything, but I do think it is definitely possible. But I gotta tell you, this was a fantastic event. Now look, I've watched enough New Japan Pro Wrestling events, but just looking at things from just, okay, this is premiering on Access TV, okay, this is in the States, I gotta tell you, this felt a lot more significant. This felt a lot more important, I feel. Now look, we remember that there was the G1 Special from last year, which everyone, including myself, have felt, hey, this was pretty solid. You know, it seems as though New Japan Pro Wrestling, the audience, it's definitely growing here in the States. It seems like it's picking up even more. And I have to tell you, with where they have performed tonight, which was at the Cow Palace. And for those of you that are very familiar with your wrestling history, you know, there's been a lot of great wrestling history moments that has been fulfilled at that stadium. All right. So to go to such a historic venue, basically, I mean, and then have big number records of people that came in attendance. Now, look, I don't know if Cow Palace had sold out tonight, but from the many wide angle shots, far away shots that they were showing all throughout tonight's event, it looks as though it was a sold out event. They did not make any announcements, but I would love to hear the final numbers on how many were in attendance at a later date as soon as that information becomes available. Hopefully we'll have that info for you guys on this Tuesday's RCWR show. Now, before you guys ask, some of you all may be going, Lee, you know, I appreciate you doing the coverage here, but what's going on with seeing your face and all that? I wanted to take it easy tonight. You know, I know we have some people, they kind of knock the whole, people going on live, they got the web stream going, and they got the pretty little backdrops, the lighting, and everything like that. You know what I say with regards to all of that? Look, you've got some people, and I'm definitely one of those people, and I am not ashamed about it. Do I care about audio presentation when I'm giving it to you guys live with whatever type of shows I decide to do, whether it's live or it's pre-recorded? Do I care about the audio quality? Tremendously, yes, I do. When I am going in front of a video camera, do I care about all the logistics as far as what type of a webcam I'm using, what's going on with the download, upload stream of my internet, making sure that you guys are getting the most crisp, clear, HD possible resolution that you can get so that it's definitely presentable? Because it doesn't matter if you have video, if you ain't got the audio, it's crappy, and then vice versa. So yeah, I do definitely care about all that. I think the more detail you put into those things and really try to do your very best in being taken as a professional, the more your audience will respect you and give you that time and energy back, because they see that, okay, this guy is going above and beyond just firing up a webcam and all that other stuff. So I just thought I'd mention that. But no, I actually just wanted to take it easy tonight, quite honestly. I got my studio here. You know, it's nice and straightened out and everything. If anything, there's probably an extra couple of chairs that's in here, and it's a little tiny. Well, I won't say it's a little bit cluttered, because it's really not. I could have fired up the webcam, but tonight, honestly, I just felt like doing the audio stream. So, hope you guys don't mind. I will be back. You'll be able to see me in the flesh this coming Tuesday, I promise you all. But, getting back to New Japan Pro Wrestling, look, man, I gotta tell you, before we even go any further into this card, I just want to say off the break that I do feel that a time is going to come when New Japan Pro Wrestling, if they continue to make the moves that they've been able to make in the United States, they are going to be the new number 2. I know right now there used to be a period where it was WWE and then TNA. And then once TNA started having the problems that they were having, then it pretty much had became, all right, well, WWE, and then slowly but surely Ring of Honor has started to kick in there. But within these past couple of years, New Japan Pro Wrestling, they have just been really upping the ante, stepping it up more and more. And I do feel that I would think maybe before 2020 or 2020 at the latest, I genuinely feel in my heart of hearts that New Japan Pro Wrestling is going to continue to grow to that point where it is going to be looked at as officially in North America the number 2 promotion aside from the WWE, and it's going to be able to continue to maintain that. And I'm also going to jump out there and make another bold prediction. Now, just going based off of a recent interview that WWE's Paul Levesque, Triple H, gave, he pretty much has said he would love for there to be an opportunity to maybe one day work with New Japan Pro Wrestling as far as cross-promoting goes. And I think that if you are a New Japan Pro Wrestling fan, if you are a WWE fan, something like that will definitely happen. I mean, we've seen so many positive signs as far as, you know what, this could legitimately happen. Go on the WWE network, you see the Hidden Gems series that's on there. You see that they did one on Kenny Omega. You see and you hear AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, and others talk about their time in New Japan. You see a little bit of still images that's used from New Japan Pro Wrestling for network specials, DVD specials. Hell, at the recent video conference, there was E3. We saw Kenny Omega, New Day. They pretty much had met up for that video game challenge and everything. So, you know, I definitely feel that it is possible. It's just about the logistics. It's about the money, how one promotion will benefit in working with the other, and then vice versa. All that I feel is definitely going to be workable. Now, will this happen while Vince McMahon still has the reins? That I'm not really sure about. It doesn't seem like Vince McMahon is really going to be slowing down anytime soon. However, with the XFL coming in 2020, so basically 2 years from now, and with Vince McMahon saying that all his time and energy is definitely going to be invested into that, one can't help but wonder if and when the time comes that the XFL gets closer to launch date, if Vince McMahon will fully step away from the WWE and fully embrace the XFL, letting Paul Levesque, Stephanie McMahon pretty much take the full reins of the WWE. But I'm really under the impression that definitely before 2023, the latest, I'll say. I'm under the impression that before 2023, New Japan Pro Wrestling and the WWE, they're going to be able to come together and they're going to do some type of a cross-promoting event. And I'm quite sure that they're watching in particular how the All In event does. I'm sure they're watching how New Japan continues to operate with the few venues that they're booking in the United States. I would like to believe that they're also paying attention to what's going to be happening with the AAA promotion, as they're going to be coming to Madison Square Garden very soon, now that they've basically talked Ring of Honor out of appearing at MSG, which, by the way, if you're a wrestling fan, a lot of stuff was going on this weekend, man. You not only had New Japan Pro Wrestling doing their thing tonight, you also had an Impact Wrestling event that was streaming for free on Twitch, right? I would like to believe that is now going to be available on demand, so I'm actually going to go back and check that out. We'll talk a little bit more about that on Tuesday's show. So you had those two events going on. You also had WWE out at Madison Square Garden. I actually posted a little bit of a video clip of what had came about post-match after Undertaker, Triple H, they did their thing. It's really cool. I won't spoil it for you guys. You got to go on the Facebook page, facebook.com/the RCWR Show. Check it out when you get a chance. It's really good. It's about 2 minutes long, but it's badass. Trust me, it's badass. Not much to some of you, but it's badass when you stop and think about it. And it looks as though, I know we got naysayers, WWE naysayers, anti-WWE fans, but when you see the amount of people that were in attendance at MSG tonight for the WWE event, it looked as though it was a sold-out house, let me tell you. And I think maybe it was a sold-out house from the standpoint of that very well could have been the last time that Undertaker was going to be seen at the Madison Square Garden building. So you just kind of keep all that in mind. But it looked like it was a jam-packed house tonight. So you had three major wrestling events that was going on Saturday night going into early Sunday morning. If you were maybe one that loves your fair share of comedians, you also had Bill Maher. Originally it was dubbed Bill Maher Triggered, but then it got retitled Bill Maher live from Oklahoma. You had that live special tonight that was on HBO. Bill Maher kicking ass for about an hour long, no guests, nothing like that. So you had a lot of good selections going on as far as entertainment goes tonight. Let's talk about this card in its entirety, which, by the way, tonight's episode of the RCWR Show is sponsor free. I wanted to treat you guys, because I really have been appreciating you guys' patience and all that good jazz, and hearing the many sponsors and Patreon members. Now, we will recognize our Patreon members probably towards the end of the show, but it's, other than that, a sponsor-free episode tonight. Just kind of my way of giving back to you guys, saying thanks for continuing to show me your support every single week, however you check out the shows. So, we had the night pretty much begin. Our commentators, by the way, Jim Ross and Josh Barnett. Little bit of a rocky start. I would say maybe the first 30 minutes, but they got warmed up, and you know what? I enjoyed their commentating. Both of them looked pretty damn good. So we had the Bullet Club, Chase Owens, legendary Haku, being dubbed King Haku, Tommy Tonga, and Tonga Loa, and Yujiro Takahashi. They took on Chaos. Chaos had consisted of Rocky Romero, Ghetto, S.H.O. Show, Y-O-H, and Yoshihashi. Now, for you New Japan Pro Wrestling fans, you hardcore fans, you guys have got to forgive me in advance. I do not watch enough New Japan Pro Wrestling. I will admit I have been watching a lot more in 2018 compared to the previous years, but I'm still trying to fine-tune, get myself down as far as pronouncing these names go. So, if I make any flubs, I apologize in advance. If you just point out, hey, this is the correct way you say it, or you just say, hey, Lee, you did good, but these are the names you need to work on pronouncing, I promise you guys, I will do my very best to fine-tune it the next go-round. Also helps that you have New Japan Pro Wrestling on Access TV. So this was a pretty damn good opener to this, and I got to tell you, it was awesome seeing Haku, because when I see Haku, I of course think about his time in WCW, obviously, and the great matches that he had. Sting, his match versus Sting comes to mind off the break as far as some of my fondest Haku matches. But 60, damn near 60, he's 59 going on 60-year-old Haku was in there tearing it up, and I'm going, he wasn't doing that much, but the little bit that he was doing, I'm just like picturing myself as a little kid again. I'm going, shit, it's Haku, man, what the hell? I loved it though. Haku and Yoshihashi, they pretty much had started it all. It was basically like a young man taking on a old bull, if you will. Closing moments of that matchup, we had saw Tama, he came in, white hot. He pretty much came in with the white tag. And, we had saw Ghetto, he, comes in for the first time, took control for a hot moment, but the match quickly broke down into, everybody doing their spots, basically. And we had saw Ghetto, he looked to win with a super kick, but then Haku came in with the trademark death grip, and that was a great father-son combo too, because it was pretty much the Haku death grip followed up with the gun stun, and that pretty much was it. We had saw Bullet Club win by pinfall with the stun gun from Tama Tonga on Gado. So that pretty much was your opening matchup right there. Chaos would follow up next. Chaos, which had consisted of Tamaroho Ishii and Toru Yano, taking on Suzuki Gun. That's consisting of Minoru Suzuki and Jack Sabre Jr. You know, it was great seeing Zack Sabre Jr. again, because I remembered him participating in the WWE Cruiserweight tournament, and you had the rumblings there that WWE was pretty close to securing Zack Sabre Jr. for their Cruiserweight division, but they couldn't quite iron out logistics, money, what have you. And, you know, some people were kind of like, damn, he would have been great for the division. I actually was quite glad that things did not work out for him in the WWE, because I honestly felt that had he signed with the WWE, he was going to be a little bit underutilized. That's just honestly how I felt, all right? And I kind of felt as though maybe he was going to get one of those silly gimmick matches. Not like a gentleman Jack Gallagher, but just something that would just be quite silly and really wouldn't capitalize on his great in-ring tech work. That's just honestly the vibe that I have felt. So for me, it always puts a smile on my face whenever I see Zack Sabre Jr. wrestling in any other promotion but the WWE. There's just some cats I look at, and he's just one of them. I go, damn, good thing you're not in the E right now. And I tell you, I could watch Zack Sabre Jr. for hours. The kid is just a great technical wizard. And I had put a tweet out about the young man earlier as I was watching him in this tag matchup. And I basically had said, you know, give me a match consisting of him taking on Daniel Bryan or the phenomenal one, AJ Styles. Oh my God, they would tear it up. They would freaking tear it up tremendously. And he's coming along. Still a relatively young man, has not quite filled out that body yet. He has not quite grown into that man physique just yet. Now some people may say, yeah, Lee, he's never gonna grow into that. You know, he's only 30 years of age. If he hasn't grown into it by now, he's not gonna. No, I think he will eventually fill out. I do. I think give him right about maybe before he hits 34. I think he's finally going to start filling out. I mean, you see the progression of where he is physically now, and you compare it to where he was when we saw him in the Cruiserweight tournament from last year. He's picked up a little bit of bulk. I mean, it's slowly packing on. So he is coming along, I personally feel. But yeah, man, this matchup here was actually a pretty damn good one as well. We had saw Ishii and Suzuki. These two guys were just slugging it the hell out. Oh my God. Yeah, let me just say, man, anybody that is not familiar with the work of Minoru Suzuki and you are a new fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling, let me tell you something, man. You guys probably saw the 6 spots that had came between Ishii and Suzuki. I mean, smacking the hell out of each other. You had the spot there where Suzuki was actually doing freaking headbutts and all that. And I mean, you could hear it. I mean, dude was actually connecting and everything. I love Minoru Suzuki because he is just one cockstrong, tough son of a bitch. He is old school. He don't play that. I mean, he gets off when he is being hurt and when he's the one giving it back out, when he channels it out. He is just one tough ass SOB, man. I love that dude tremendously. But yeah, anybody that is a new fan of Minoru Suzuki in particular, and you want to go back and you want to check out some previous stuff that he had did, I would recommend y'all go check out the match that he was in. I think it was a title versus hair match from Wrestle Kingdom 12. I recommend you guys go out of your way and you check that match out because that one was just freaking badass. It really was. That was a freaking clinic. A freaking clinic. No, not that I remember it right. No, it was a hair versus hair match. You guys got to forgive me. My memory's a little bit fuzzy, just a little bit. But no, it was a hair versus hair match, and that was from Wrestle Kingdom 12, and it was Haruki Goto taking on Suzuki. So check that one now. If you guys had loved the physicality that you saw of him tonight, you will just cream your pants when you see what he did in that matchup I just said, hair versus hair match from Wrestle Kingdom 12. So yeah, at one point we saw them slugging it out and everything. And pretty much during the closing moments of that one, we had saw the referee had broke up the match at some point. And we saw Zack Sabre Jr., he had managed to catch a low blow from Suzuki. Pretty much went back on the offense. Was looking for a European uppercut. And Sabre, he actually takes, I think there was a spot with an exposed turnbuckle or something like that, if I remember it. And he managed to block a low blow by clenching his legs, but Ishii comes back with the blind side. And Chaos ended up winning by a cradle from Toru Yano on Zack Sabre Jr. And we had saw the Suzuki Gun team up to take out their anger on the young guys post-match. So they're laying it in, they got the win, but they weren't quite satisfied with that afterwards. Bullet Club's Hangman Page and Marty Scurll took on Hiroshi Tanahashi, as I like to dub him, the John Cena of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And that's actually not a bad thing, because I don't want people to go, oh, but nobody boos Tanahashi. That's not what I mean. I just mean from the standpoint of, if you had to pick out one guy that embodies everything that New Japan Pro Wrestling is all about, a guy that, is the face of the company, and has been the face of the company for many years. Hiroshi Tanahashi is that guy to the point, and I'm hoping that if and when a time comes where WWE is able to do this cross-brand promotion with, New Japan, WWE and New Japan doing the cross-promotion, I would love to see Cena take on Tanahashi. I think that would be a really damn good mashup. I really feel. Yeah, John Cena versus Tanahashi. I would pay some serious money to see that, quite honestly. I think those two guys would really freaking tear it up. I really do. But we saw Hangman Page and Marty Scurll. Again, they took on Hiroshi Tanahashi and Kushida. This one was pretty good as well. My girl was actually watching this match with me because she had came in a little bit late from work, and she was like, oh my God, you're watching wrestling tonight? I said, yeah. It's like, I don't know if I'm going to do an after show on it though, but looks pretty good so far. And she pretty much pulled up a chair and sat next to me as I'm watching this. And, we're talking and everything. And she goes, I like that Tanahashi dude. I'm a little bit familiar with him. You've watched some of his stuff before. I said, yeah. She goes, yeah, I like him. I like his style. He's pretty good. He's a big dude. I said, yeah. I was like, he's pretty thick. How tall you think Tanahashi is? Those of you that know your heights and everything. He looks like he's a bit on the tall side. Looks like he's maybe about 6'8", give or take. Maybe 6'7". I don't know. He looks like he might be about 6'8". Looks like he probably weighs about, I don't know, maybe 290, give or take. But he's a big dude, man. But my girl really made a good point about this particular matchup. She said, there was a lot of good mat grappling that was going on. Everything was good from a technical standpoint. But she said, it seems like when you were watching Tanahashi and Hangman Page, they knew how to still tell the story. They knew how to sell the moves. But when you look at guys like Kushida was just moving, at least for her, and I kind of understood where she was coming from. But she basically was saying, I look at a guy like Kushida, and he's moving around a bit too fast in the ring for me. He's not really doing a good job in selling the moves. It's just pretty much spot fest after spot fest after spot fest. And I said to her, hon, well, sadly, that's just how it is a little bit sometimes in New Japan Pro Wrestling and other promotions. But I definitely see what you're talking about. And so for me, the few times that we would see Hangman Page lock it up with Tanahashi, that was actually good as far as I was concerned. It seemed as though Kushida fit a little bit more with Marty Scurll, as I felt the two of them complemented each other fairly well with regards to size, weight, and all of that. Pretty much in the closing moments of that one, we had saw Hangman Page throw Tanahashi out of the ring. There was a huge lariat, nice big lariat spot that took out Kushida. And there was a tag in that would follow up, and it looked as though the right for passage was about to be applied, but that had got countered to a sunset flip for only a 2 count. Then you saw that followed up with an elbow for a Pele kick, punt to the shoulder, tilt-a-whirl hoverboard lock that was applied by Kushida, but that pretty much had got denied, as Bullet Club would win by pinfall with rite of passage from Hangman Page on Kushida. Yeah, the closing moments of that one, even my girl really gave props there. The closing moments of that one, there was a great series of counters. It was like, oh my God, is it gonna go? It was the most greatest technical finish I had saw to close out a tag team match for this one, because I didn't quite see that coming as far as the finish goes. And I gotta say, all the matches for, now that I kind of play it all back in my head, a lot of these matches had some really good finishes. Let's go to our next matchup. Hope you guys are enjoying the after show so far. If you are, make sure you share, retweet, all that good stuff. Really helps. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Use the keywords the RCWR Show. We got a couple of more matches to talk about, looking at the rest of the card right now, and so far just looking at where we are right now, so we're about 3 matches in. We got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got about 7 more matches to go, so let's go ahead, let's have right at it. So our next matchup, we had saw Hiroki Goto taking on Jeff Cobb. He was, Gato that is, he was defending the Never Openweight Championship. And once again, you guys gotta forgive me if I butcher some of these names, you hardcore New Japan Pro Wrestling fans. I promise you in advance, if I am mispronouncing any of these names, just politely give me a heads up on what names I need to work out pronouncing a little better. And I promise you guys, I will definitely do it. I'm making my rounds, watching a little bit more New Japan Pro Wrestling this calendar year compared to previous years, as I am watching a big bulk on Access TV. I also have my respective subscription to New Japan Pro Wrestling, so give me some time. I'm definitely getting a little better at it. This was a great slugger fest. When I heard about this matchup, I'm going, you know what, these two guys, it's going to be pretty intense. It's going to be physical. It's going to be like two good young bulls kind of going at it a little bit. This one should actually be pretty damn good. And look, let me tell you something. Given Jeff Cobb's background, you know, his weightlifting background and everything, I think he has a very bright career in New Japan. I think he has a very bright career in professional wrestling, for that matter. Here's the only thing, though. The only thing I would need to stress with regards to Jeff Cobb, he needs to lose just a little tiny bit of weight. Now, I'm not picking on the man in any type of way, so don't take what I'm saying the wrong way, guys. But when you go back and you watch this great match that he had with Gato, you know, you're going, wow, for a big dude, he moves pretty damn good. He moves pretty damn quick. But you're saying to yourself, you know, if he lost about maybe just 20 pounds, 30 is a bit too much, but maybe 20 pounds at most, that will probably help him out a little bit better as well, as far as moving in the ring and all that. It honestly just seems to me as though maybe he's having too many beers before and definitely after the show is over, because you look at how he's built in the arms, you look at how he's built in the legs, And those are really his strong points. You look at his shoulders, all of those are his strong points. But when you go to the belly, it's not like he has a thick Michael Elgin type of build. It looks like the jackpot is around the belly area. So if he maybe just started doing some, I won't say hitting the treadmill or anything, but if he maybe just started doing some crunches, some sit-ups, do some weightlifting that just focuses on the muscles in the ab region only, I think he can definitely get that down while also, keeping the legs and keeping the shoulders and the arms and everything. I think he would definitely be better off, maybe cut back on the carbs just a little bit. I definitely feel he would be a lot better, but for the amount of weight that he's carrying, he actually moves pretty damn good. Saw him at one point during this match do one pretty ass jump kick, and I'm going, wow, good job, big man. I mean, it was a pretty jump kick. It was a stand-up drop kick. Bob Holly has one of the best, prettiest drop kicks in the business, and I tell you what, Jeff Cobb was pretty much right there, I would have to say. Closing moment of that matchup, we had saw Jeff Cobb, he cold clocked the hell out of Gatto with an elbow, and then scooped him up, did a nice Oklahoma stampede that only got him a near fall, and then they both were trading lariats. Cobb wipes out Gatto, did a pretty standing moonsault as well. Yeah, when you see how big this dude is, did he just do that? Did my eyes deceive me, or did he actually just do that? Off the ropes, there was the Tour of the Islands countered into a sleeper hold. From there, a snapmare escape. Not a lot of energy was being put into it. Gatto gets a lariat and a headbutt in, followed up by the fireman's carry. And the Ushi Goroshai. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I know I'm butchering. You gotta forgive me, guys. Gotta forgive me. The Ushi Goroshi. That did not do that did not do it. Not at all. As that was blocked. Lariat did connect though. Gatto had won via pinfall with a GTR, retaining the Never Openweight Championship. It was a pretty good physical matchup. That actually was my personal favorite right there. Next up, we had saw Evil and Sonata take on the Young Bucks for the IWGP Tag Team titles. Oh man, I love this one. I love this one. This was a damn good matchup. Yeah, I was a little bit concerned about this matchup because I've been very vocal about the Young Bucks in the past, which is pretty much for me, okay, what type of Young Bucks are we going to get? Are we going to get the Young Bucks that's just going to be spot monkeys? Or are we going to get the Young Bucks that are looking to tell a story? And I'm telling you, when the Young Bucks are going in and they're telling a story, those are some of the best tag matches that you will come across. And tonight was one of those nights where we had got a fantastic story that was told in the ring by the Young Bucks. And I love when we get the Young Bucks like that. I hope they bring the same enthusiasm to the All In event coming up in just a few weeks from now. I mean, at this point, we got like a little bit, it's not a month to go just yet, but it's getting there. It's creeping up, man. It's creeping up. But Young Bucks did pretty damn good. Young Bucks had defeated Evil and Sonata with a Meltzer driver on Evil to retain the IWGP tag titles. Love this. You know, there was one beautiful spot in this where we saw everybody on the mat lock each other's heads up with like a leg a leg hold maneuver, and I loved it. It was like a beautiful form of art. That's basically the best way I could describe it. And I tell you, the Young Bucks, I'm really proud of their evolution and where they're coming along. Honestly, they've been coming along pretty damn well. I must say, I've been watching them in particular these past several years. I pretty much was first introduced to them, seeing a little bit of their work out in PWG. And then I saw a little bit of them in TNA and was kind of, saw a lot of promise in them, but I just didn't really feel Impact Wrestling kind of knew what to do with these young boys. But I tell you what, they've really been going out there and tearing it up on their own. They've been doing it, man. They've been doing it. I give them props. They are coming along. They are coming along. It's the consistency that I feel that's very important, though. That's what it's all about. Next tag matchup, we saw Okada and Will Ospreay. They took on Bushi and Tetsuya Naito. This actually was a pretty good matchup as well. Oh, by the way, in case I had forgot, let me backtrack. Young Bucks, they did win via pinfall. Again, they retained the IWGP tag titles. All right, so getting back to Bushi, Naito taking on Okada and Ospreay. That one we saw Chaoses, Okada and Ospreay. They had won via pinfall with the Stormbreaker from Will Ospreay on Bushi. And it was okay matchup. It was all right. I could have actually done without this matchup. I got to be honest. I actually could have done without it. It wasn't bad. I guess I'm trying to figure out why I felt the way that I felt about this matchup, because it wasn't that long ago that Okada was the New Japan Pro Wrestling IWGP Heavyweight Champion. But for some weird reason, it just felt really just... I don't know. I don't know if maybe it was the opponents on the opposite side, because I love Okada. I've got no problem with Will Ospreay. I love Naito. I love Naito. Love him tremendously. Great fucking talent. But I don't know, just something about this matchup I just particularly didn't care for it. It felt like a throwaway for me, honestly. Now, the next matchup was actually pretty damn good. Dragon Lee taking on Hiromu Takahashi for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Loved how off the break we saw a Suicide Frankensteiner from Dragon Lee. Oh my God, I'm like going, oh my God, this is how you're going to kick off a Junior Heavyweight Championship match? Okay, I love this. And Dragon Lee was representing the CMLL. This was a great lucha, high-flying type of matchup. I love this one tremendously. Closing moments of that one, pretty much we saw Takahashi win by pinfall with the time bomb to retain the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. This was high-flying action at its finest. Actually, that was probably, as far as surpriser of the night, like sleeper surpriser, I would definitely say this one was the sleeper surpriser of the night. Switchblade Jay White had lost the IWGP Championship, the IWGP United States Championship, to Juice White. Oh my God, I fucked that up tremendously, didn't I? Let's do that. I was looking at Jay White on my notes here, looking at Jay White, and for some reason I wrote Jay White twice. You guys gotta forgive me. Switchblade Jay White, I was trying to say, lost the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship to Juice Robinson. There we go. Second go around, we get it right? Juice Robinson, once known as CJ Parker in the WWE, in NXT. And yeah, I tell you, seeing Juice Robinson, he's coming along. I must admit, the young man is coming along. He's really finding his stride there in New Japan Pro Wrestling. This was not my first time watching him since he's pretty much been working with New Japan. And I liked what I was seeing of him off and on these past couple of months. But I tell you what, man, WWE messed up. I think they messed up with this young man. I can maybe understand the circumstances surrounding the release, but I think they really messed up with him. And it's nice to see that he's really starting to find himself and his groove. And it was awesome seeing how his popularity has increased since being in New Japan. And it was nice to see that, hey, it's not just an overseas thing. It was really nice to see mainly an American audience at tonight's G1 event really embracing Juice Robinson and showing him a lot of love. I mean, how about that? Juice Robinson, I'll need for you guys to correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, he becomes the third IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion, if I remember that right, but he becomes the first American to hold the IWGP United States Heavyweight title. I know that latter part I have right, but I just think that's kind of fitting that it was mentioned. I heard Jim Ross and Josh Barnett mention that latter part. I know I got right. It's that first part I'm a little bit kind of murky about, if I had heard that right. But I'm really proud of Juice Robinson. He's coming along, true story. And I can't say this without moving on to the next match. We had an opportunity to speak with, and Juice Robinson can actually back me up on this. We had an opportunity fresh after Juice Robinson had got released by the WWE. And I remember I had introduced myself to him. I told him what my show was about and everything. And he said he actually had no problem doing the show. He would love to do it. And I took a couple of days and I actually had thought about it a little bit more. And I think it was maybe 3 days before we were supposed to sit down and have him appear on the show and everything. I just decided, you know what, looking at his brief time in NXT, I don't really know. I don't really think there's anything there that would be a really good listen for the audience. And so with a broken heart, I basically had told him that, something had came up, or I want to say I either said to him something had came up, change of plans, or I may have been honest with him, and I think I may actually, now that I really kind of think about it, if I'm not mistaken, leading up to us doing an interview with him, it's actually kind of coming back to me now. If I remember the correspondence right, he did an interview before it was time for him to do something with us, and I basically had said, any question that, I did want to ask you, sadly, with the recent round of interviews you've already given, I really can't think of anything else I would like to add on to that. So we're just going to go on ahead and gracefully back out. And, I could tell he didn't kind of like that because, I guess there was a part of him that was actually pretty excited to come on the show and talk with me and, give something to, continue to give something to his fans and give something to, you, the listeners. I don't know, it just didn't click. It just, when I was reading the questions that was already asked of him online, it was just one of those deals. Well, I can't really think of anything else. It's like, I don't want to be repeating something that is already out there on another show. It's like, no matter how I rephrase it, it's still the same question. It's like, forget about it. So it's nice to see that he did not just take the termination, if you will, by the WWE and pretty much just quietly go back to his civilian life, because sadly that's what we see with some of these people that get released from the WWE. You think maybe they're gonna go work for another promotion, they just kind of like disappear. And he definitely showed at the time that he had a very promising career, if he wanted to stick to it. So it's really nice to continue to see him thrive, in particular in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Cody Rhodes. Damn, we're already on the main event? That can't be right. That can't be right. Surely. Yeah, wow, we blazed through all these matches already, my God. So we got one more match to talk about. It's the IWGP Heavyweight Championship match. Kenny Omega defending the title against Cody. We saw I was about to say the dancing bear, and for those of you, wink wink, that's all I have to say. No, that's a little bit of a inside joke. If you get that one, good for you. No, we saw the dancing bear. I can't believe I said the dancing bear. Oh, God. Oh, God. I could just picture people that are probably under the age of 18 going, I don't get it. What's so funny about dancing bear? I don't get it. Let's put it to you this way. NSFW. That's all I have to say. But anyway, we saw Cody Rhodes. He dismissed the business bear as he was really trying to let this be a straight up one-on-one matchup. However, Brandy Rhodes was there at ringside. The Young Bucks were there at ringside as well. And we saw Cody Rhodes. He was sporting the dark brown hair again. He had revealed in a recent conference call interview that the reason why his hair was blonde was because he was doing it for some role, and that it was something that was going to be released very, very soon, and that fans would be quite pleased with his work. I'm thinking, well, maybe he had his hair blonde for, wait a minute, didn't he do something on Arrow and some other stuff? And apparently this was for another project that he had his hair that color for that long period of time. And I actually missed the blonde hair. I never thought I would say that, but I actually missed the blonde hair. There was something about that blonde hair that just gave him a new freshness. I think that's the best way I can describe it. It gave him a new aura. Not to mention, it was great homage to frickin' Dusty and Goldust. I personally felt it was great homage to the Rhodes family. But it's going to take me a while to get. I can't believe I'm saying this. It's actually going to take me a while to get used to the dark brown hair again, because I've just been used to the blonde hair for so damn long. But these two guys, they had a fantastic fucking matchup, man. A fantastic matchup. One point during this match, and I was legitimately concerned for Cody. We see that there was a table that was set up outside of the ring, and the action took to a ladder that was set up inside the ring. It was a high-ass ladder. And we saw Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, they're fighting on this ladder. The Young Bucks, even Brandy, they're like, come on guys, you guys gotta come down. Somebody's gonna get seriously hurt. Kenny Omega, he is on the inside of the ring. And Cody, his back is pretty much facing out the ring near the table that's propped up. And pretty much, Kenny had won that fight on the ladder and was able to send Cody flying off the ladder, and the spot was definitely messed up. He should have gone through the table. He did not. Looked like he kind of went maybe head, neck, maybe the beginning of the shoulders first into the table, but the table did not split in half. So immediately you saw Brandy and the Young Bucks went over, trying to make sure he was okay and everything, and looked as though everything was good to go. The action eventually got back in the ring. Then eventually there was another spot where they were fighting, and if I remember that spot correctly, there was a great back body drop, if I remember the spot right. Now, I can't remember if it was Cody that landed or if it was Kenny. That part I can't remember, sadly, because at that point I was pretty much getting ready to do the show here, trying to get set up and everything. But my God, these two guys just pretty much going back and forth. Closing moments of this one, we actually saw referee Red Shoes. He actually got brought into this, and he got taken out. And once he got taken out, we had pretty much saw all balls out. Like it pretty much was anything goes now. A steel chair did get put into the mix. We saw Kenny Omega. I'm trying to think who had the steel chair there. My memory's a little bit fuzzy right now. You guys got to bear with me a second. A steel chair was introduced, and if I remember it correctly, Kenny Omega had the opportunity to clock the hell out of... Yeah, matter of fact, I think both men had the opportunity to clock the hell out of each other with the steel chair, but they did not do it. But Cody was the one that was actually more beaten up. That much I do remember. And Kenny Omega was ready to just pretty much end the match. But we see Brandy, she gets up to the ropes and she's literally begging him, no, please, no, not this way, no, you see he's hurt, he can't keep going, just let him be, you won. And Kenny, he's like, I'm sorry, but this is our match, we gotta go there, we gotta do this. And we see eventually the Young Bucks, they're able to get Brandy and they're able to talk her out of the ring. Kenny Omega, he points at Cody, does that gun trigger motion, he's going for it. He's looking to end it. And we see Cody just bounce back with a really great clothesline, pretty much knocked him clean. And pretty much both men were on the mat after this. And from there, I'm trying to think what else had happened with this matchup. There was a V-trigger. Yeah, there was a V-trigger, not once, but twice. And there was a one-winged angel, reverse kick to the back of Cody's head. He fell into the corner, V-trigger into his back, power bomb. There was a cover. Barely was even a 2 count. There was another V-trigger that had connected, barely connected. There was another one that Cody had managed to block, and then another one had connected, another cover 2 count. Cody was just getting his ass handed to him in this one. And then Omega tried to go for another power bomb, ends up tossing Cody out to the floor on the table, as I mentioned. It didn't break. Now it's coming back to me. So you pretty much have fast forward after that one, and Omega had looked for the V trigger. Brandy comes in to try to stop him. Red Shoes, he's like, and the Young Bucks, they're like, come on, man, you got a lot of back and forth. Omega finally hits the one-winged angel, and he retains the title. Post-match, we see the Young Bucks and Brandy, they're checking on the wrestlers. Omega helps Cody up, and, Cody's kind of like, hey, it is what it is. Cody had a couple of moments there where he could have just went heel. He could have went totally heel on Omega's ass, but he really wanted to just know, if I'm going to beat this dude, I'm going to beat him one-on-one, straight up, no shenanigans. And so we saw this nice little embrace, if you will, of sportsmanlike, and a handshake, in the form of a handshake from Cody and Omega. And Cody, Brandy, they pretty much had rolled out and everything. Omega will grab the microphone, and he would say, hey, this was my first title defense as IWGP Heavyweight Champion. Very happy to do it in front of you guys. And he went on to say how everyone deserves a second chance, even Cody. And he went on to say that No matter who the person is, we should stand behind good people, and he'll continue to give his very best. He had thanked everyone for coming out and did his trademark hand gesture, signing off, and that should have been it. So we see the Young Bucks and we see Omega. They pretty much go up to the top of the stage, and then all of a sudden, from earlier, things is when things really started getting interesting. Remember earlier, the first match that we had talked about that had consisted of Haku, Rocky Romero, Yoshihashi, and all them. Yeah, well, we actually saw Haku and Sons. They came on now, and they jumped the Young Bucks and Omega from behind. And they dragged Omega into the ring. They beat the holy hell out of him. Just doing a serious number on him. You see that they were wearing Bullet Club shirts, but they had took those shirts off, and there were some new shirts that were revealed. And the new shirts that they had on here, you guys got to forgive me. I gotta look at the Fire Squad. Fire Squad. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick here, because I looked at this. I was like, God damn! I was like, how many fucking Bullet Clubs? The Firing Squad. Yeah, the Firing Squad, the Bullet Club Firing Squad. Those were the shirts. It was in red and all that, and I thought it was kind of cool how once the event had went off the air, Pro Wrestling Tees was promoting the hell out of these shirts. These were the shirts that they had revealed that they were wearing up under the traditional Bullet Club t-shirts, and they just proceeded to beat the holy hell out of Kenny Omega. Young Bucks, they eventually had got into the ring, and when we saw Haku and Sons, they pretty much finished beating the crap out of them. We saw other guys get in there, Marty Scurll, Hangman Page, all of these guys. Everybody just got their asses handed to them. Pretty much all the Bullet Club members got their asses handed to them. Now, eventually, we did see Cody. He comes on out there, and he's just staggering and everything, but Cody gets in, and they pretty much hand him a steel chair, and they're going, yeah, man, go ahead, get you some, go ahead. And we see Cody, he takes that steel chair to one of them, was only able to get one hit. They went on ahead, they beat the holy crap out of him. So everybody is now laid out. And it pretty much ended with the Haku family basically, saying, that's not real family, Bullet Club, that ain't nothing, that ain't real family. We're the real family, we're what it is right here, not that fake bullshit. And that pretty much was officially the end of the card. I kind of laughed a little bit because I'm going, wow, all of these guys got their asses whooped by a 60-year-old guy and two guys in their mid-30s, and nobody could hang. All these guys could not hang with these three guys. Like, seriously? Really, two guys, because Haku didn't really do that much, right? But they got their asses handed to them pretty much by three guys. I was laughing my ass off. I wasn't shitting on it, but at the same time, I just thought it was kind of funny. That's all I'm basically saying, guys. So don't take it too personal, because I know how some of you New Japan fans are. But no, I saw that spot, and I'm going, my God. But on a more interesting note, we see Kenny Omega, Cody Rhodes. They come to, there's another handshake, and then there's a hug, and everybody starts hugging it out, and it looks as though the Bullet Club, what was once fractured, it's now officially made whole once again. So it looks like they're all back together for maybe perhaps very worthy cause, who knows. But that was officially the end of your New Japan G1 Special. Overall, I gotta say, it was a really good, solid card, great event. Loved it from top to bottom. Probably could have done without one match. I know there was a spot where some people were a little bit concerned about what Josh Barnett had said and how he reacted, and I'm not really biting too much into that because I don't feel that was a I don't feel that Josh Barnett was just flipping the hell out for the hell of it. I think that was planted. I think that was done just to kind of put emphasis on a certain spot that was going on during the match and everything. So I know some people were looking at that spot and they felt as though, oh, Josh Barnett acting like that, he shouldn't be part of the English color commentating team anymore, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, a lot of people forget that Josh Barnett, he's had his fair share in dipping into pro wrestling more than once. And I do remember briefly there where he did a little something in Impact Wrestling. One thing that comes to mind off the break, if I'm not mistaken, didn't he face Bobby Lashley for the Impact Wrestling Championship one time, if I remember it right? So, I mean, that spot, you know, I was able to watch just a little bit of it afterwards, after it was kind of brought to my attention, and I didn't really think too much of it, honestly. So, and I don't think really you guys should be homing in on that, as well, as I don't really feel there was anything there. But I would say New Japan Pro Wrestling, it definitely gets a pass. The G1 Special from Cal Palace tonight, it gets a pass. I know we're going to have the Dave Meltzers and all them. They're going to be 5.5 stars, and they're going to be doing all this other stuff. I'm not going to be doing the star system. I'm just not. I'm just kind of getting to that point now where it's either a pass or it's a fail. Now, if you guys had saw the G1 Special tonight, or you're going to be seeing it, maybe you recorded it on your DVR and you're going to be watching it before the weekend is out, I do want to know what you guys had thought about the event. Cast your vote on our latest RCWR poll. We have it up right now. So far, early votes are coming in. We have 4% of you staying in the middle. There's also 4% of you that are giving it a thumbs down. 17% of you haven't watched but will. And 75% of you are giving it a thumbs up. So we're actually going to post this same polling question on YouTube as well. So for those of you that maybe don't have Twitter, but you have the Google YouTube set up already, you can definitely vote that way. Just look up youtube.com/the RCWR Show. Click on the communities tab and you'll be able to vote that way. I will actually have that poll up in about 10 minutes or less. So, depending on when you're listening to this, I mean, of course, if you're listening to this on demand, then 9 out of 10, it's already available. But that is going to do it. We're going to stick a fork in it and call this DONE done. I have a little bit more to talk about with regards to this event coming up on Tuesday's RCWR Show. That's going to be a great show, by the way. I'm actually looking forward to that. We got a lot of stuff we're going to be getting into. Now, for you Patreon members, it's just been a matter of trying to hook up with the missus, but we're actually going to be recording a new Wrestling with the Topics. We're going to do that for our Patreon audience, and then what'll happen is that same episode, even though it'll be released to our Patreon family, we'll go ahead and release that episode for the first time on the downloads. We'll do that for you guys Wednesday. So Wednesday evening, you guys will have that. So you guys will have some nice, good extra content you'll be able to check out in the coming days. But other than that, your next edition of the RCWR Show is going to be coming at you on Tuesday night, July 10th. 10 p.m. Eastern, as soon as SmackDown goes off the air. Those of you that's going to be waiting for this on the downloads, give me about 30 minutes or less at most. All I have to do at this point is just attach the music intro, re-upload it and all that, MP3 tag it and all, and it'll be good to go for you guys, okay? Remember, thumbs up, click the hearts, click the likes. Spread the word, subscribe, all that good stuff, alright? I am wishing all of you all to be safe, and most importantly, be kind to one another. Thank you for checking out this special New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 edition. Good night, good morning.
Thanks for listening. An Infinity One Productions presentation, keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive.